Okay.
Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Southern Adornments Decor, and I'm here with these. I was like, which direction did I point? These two awesome ladies, Jen and Kelly. They have been Painters Clubhouse members for a while now, and we have had such fun chatting even before we went live. So I think this is going to be a really good member interview. If some of you guys watching right now have no clue what we're talking about, our membership is the Painters Clubhouse, where we teach you door hanger painting. And these ladies are great examples of how you can take that and implement it into your lives and maybe even start businesses and things like that. So let's start with you, Jen. Tell us where you're from and kind of like how you got started with door hanger painting.
Okay, so originally I'm from Louisiana, but I just moved recently to Oregon for my dad. I started watching you way back when you were still on your dining room table and in the little thing, little corner or whatever. And your energy was great, and I needed an outlet more than I knew at the time, but you guys came through and I just started painting, and then people are like, will you make me one? Will you make me one? And then now I sell them. So, but I enjoy it.
That's awesome. I can't imagine moving from Louisiana to Oregon. That's literally across the country.
It is, and it was big culture shock.
Yeah. Totally different climate too, isn't it?
Yes, and the rain here is cold, unlike Louisiana where it's warm. So
you probably had to throw out some of your wardrobe or start building a new wardrobe.
I did. I never owned a winter coat before. So it was kind of interesting to actually go get one with like a hood and, kind of bulky. And I was like, wow.
Okay, Kelly, tell us where you're from and how you got started with door hanger painting.
Well, hi, y'all. I am from Virginia, Prince George, Virginia, which is southern, eastern Virginia. I ran across Tamara. It's been 3 years, I think, and did the door hanger with her, and I didn't even wait. I just joined Painters Clubhouse, and it's kind of all in thing for me. And when I joined, I was like, I can do this and I can make people stuff. And I'm like you, Jen, I made stuff and people were like, I want one. And so I don't have an Etsy yet, and I don't know that I'll ever do it. But I do have a Facebook page, and I'll post what I make, and people do that. And I have learned so much from Tamara in these 3 years. I mean, I want to learn how to paint like her. Okay. Not paint like her. Her brush strokes. Okay. Just like everybody has a walk. You have a fast walk or a slow stride. Tamara's got it smooth. I've got it. The end result, you get to your destination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different
but it takes me longer because I'm not doing the strokes like she does. So I'm working on that. And she shades. You shade. Okay. Beautifully. I was painting something last week, and my daughter was home, and she was sitting there. And she said, why aren't you shading it? I said, I'm not shading isn't good. She said, give it to me. So she just starts doing. She, and hers was beautiful. So the next morning I got up and I watched her. And so that morning I got up, I said, look, I can shade if I try. So just, I guess, watching you, and just all the ladies and what you see, and I could just go on for hours.
Amen.
Well, that shading is a tricky thing. I didn't start doing it until just a couple of years ago, like more regularly. And I used to do it every now and then on a project, and I never was truly happy with how it came out. And it wasn't until I forced myself to just go ahead and just do it more often, even if it doesn't turn out perfect. It's kind of like muscle memory. Your hands just start learning what looks better and how to do it right. And it's just practice, you just develop it. You kind of have to go through that ugly duckling phase of not loving it sometimes to get to the good part of it.
Well, at anybody that, if I say Tamara Bennett here at work or wherever, they know who Tamara Bennett is.
They know we're besties, right?
She says, I say Tamara said, and they're like, the paint lady. Yes.
My husband calls you my lost daughter because I'm always talking about how sweet. I'm like, she's really, and if you ask a question, she's gonna take the time to answer it. And he's like, you're such a proud little mama.
That is so sweet. You're not actually the first person to tell me that they see me as a daughter. I've heard it's there's been a couple people over the years. Lisa Brumfield was one of them years ago, and she has blonde curly hair like me, so we look like we could be mother daughter. And when she met me for the first time in person, she's like, "Come here." She's like, "I feel like you're my daughter." She said, "I have all sons, and I feel like you're one of my kids."
Oh,
It's so sweet.
Jen, have you met Tamara in person yet?
No, not yet. I
I
was
haven't
going to
either.
go to the last live, but then we had a death in the family, so you know. But I would like to, if can have a second, I would like to tell you though, I went through a really tough year last year, and I kind of like dropped off a little bit. But I still had members reaching out, are you okay? Do you want, so they notice when you're not there, and they notice when you are there, and it's really honestly the best community. I mean, I've only met 2 PC sisters in real life, I guess. I don't know, in the real world outside the TV. But it's like, I've developed really, really close relationships. So,
Well, it is an excellent group. It's not, there's no negativity in there.
mm-mm.
Everybody is so helpful. And if you paint something and you're just really down on it and you post it, you're going to come up. I mean,
Mhm.
but the sisters, we will give you, critique it and tell you how you might be able to, not in a snarky way,
Kind
but
criticism.
it's just,
Constructive.
Yeah.
it is a wonderful, Painters Clubhouse is wonderful.
Oh,
It
well,
really is. And, I had a little bit of experience with art and painting prior to Tamara. But going in thinking, oh, well, I'm going to be like a level 2 Painters Clubhouse member, and I'm going through all of her beginners things and the basic things. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, I'm just going to sit back here and be a level 1 for a bit, and then you just kind of, your confidence builds and everything. But whenever I'm in a rut or I'm having color issues, a color palette issue, I kind of go back and just watch some of the beginners stuff, and it brings me back to basics. It centers me a little bit more, if you will, and just kind of, and asking a question to the sisters and the PC brothers. I think we have a few of those. They really quick to give you some insight, and it's like she said, it's never negative. It's always a different way of looking at things, and that's what I appreciate about the Clubhouse sisterhood and brothers.
Well, I feel like we worked hard to make it a safe space for people to come in and learn in a nurturing environment where they don't feel like somebody's lurking around every corner to judge them or to accuse them of something. Because I know we've all been in groups before where if you post something, somebody will be like, "Hey, you copied that. That was my art or my original idea," or they make you feel bad about something. Like, I know, for example, myself, just a few months ago at Christmas, I posted a Facebook reel. This wasn't in a group, but it was a Facebook reel. And all I was doing was hand lettering with a paint pen Charlie's name on an ornament. You should have seen all the horrible comments of people accusing me of having terrible handwriting. And I'm like, look, I'm not doing this for you or even to sell it. This is my daughter's name. It's her ornament. What do you care? But people can be really cruel. And we just don't have any of that in the Clubhouse. I think, number one, we attract the right people who
Mm-hmm.
a lot like me, who are community over competition, who are kind-hearted and generous with information. And so that helps a lot. And I think if we do ever have somebody who comes in who maybe doesn't share those same values, they realize quickly that they are not in similar company, and they usually will either step on out and leave the group, and we're fine with that, or they will just keep their opinions to themselves. I think
Right.
only once in 5 years, maybe 2-3 times at most in 5 years, have we ever had to be like, all right, that's enough of that. We got to delete this post.
Right.
So we try to keep it very friendly, very positive, because there's enough negativity in this world. We need a safe, positive place to go.
Right. And one thing, what probably one of the things I admire most about Tamara is that, again, I started when she was watching her when she was painting on her table, is that there's so much opportunity with her because as she's grown, she is the perfect example of, we rise when we lift others. She has members doing door hanger templates and stuff, designing door hangers, and she sells them in her own shop. There is no, and if I like a color scheme of somebody that painted Lola the cow or the Highland cow and everything, nobody gets upset, oh, you copied my colors.
No, they don't.
And just the fact that Tamara, I heard her say this once and it really stuck with me. She said, I decided a long time ago that I was not going to get all caught up in people copying my stuff or anything else like that. That's not what she's about. So
I realized it was hurting me just as much as it was hurting the other person if I was to say something about it. Because I think the day before I made that decision, I had said something to somebody that, and it wasn't even like a blunt, you copied me. It was I'm more of a passive aggressive kind of person. If I'm going to say something, I'm probably not going to just be blunt about it. And so I think I said something like, I don't even remember what I said, to be honest. It was like 5 years ago, but it was just something kind of where she would know that I noticed she copied, but without me say something. And then right after I sent it, I had instant regret. It was like, that made me feel bad about myself. I don't feel like I took the high road. I wasn't being very Christian by making her feel bad about that. And so I instantly deleted my comment. It was too late. She had already seen it. And then I private messaged her and I said it right. And I was like, you know what? From now on, never again. I'm going to actually feel flattered. It's a choice. I'm going to choose to feel flattered if somebody copies my stuff. And it's actually helped my business grow because I'm not gatekeeping secrets. I'm actually encouraging others. And you know what? When we're learning something new like this, a lot of times you have to copy before you can really innovate.
True. Very true.
Yeah. Oh. Well, let's see.
The number one, to me, one of the bonuses of the Painters Clubhouse is Uncle Corey.
We all love us some Uncle Corey. Corey, Uncle Corey and Charlie really, kind of spice it up for us every now and again.
And to watch Charlie grow.
Oh, she's so little.
We're talking like you're not even here, Tamara.
Yeah. Sorry, Tamara.
Are like proud little ants. You just keep on going.
Oh, but yeah, just watching, it's just like family,
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. And it's, you learn about painting, but that's COVID. Okay. We weren't in the office.
Right. Oh, Tamara saved us.
Them around here, no Fridays at 10:30. Tamara's on my desk, on my phone, and I'm at Friday Fab 5. I've done it ever since we came back into the office to work.
And do you remember back in 2020 when the nation went on lockdown, like that April, we had just opened the Clubhouse again, and what we ended up doing was weekly Zoom paint parties to help people feel connected. Really helpful for a lot of people.
It really was. It was a great. I'm not saying that Tamara's a therapist, but she comes pretty darn close sometimes, and she seems to know what her community needs at that time, and she does her best to give it to us. And I've never been let down ever.
Oh. Well, I feel like things have evolved so much over the last years. We've implemented new things, like you said, because it was a need that people had, and we're still tweaking and evolving things. So the version of Painters Clubhouse you're getting today is 10 times better than the version you got 5 years ago.
I wouldn't say better. I would just say it's easier to access.
Yeah. It's definitely got more content in there.
It does, yes. And I love that you allow guest artists to come on, whether they're Clubhouse members or just other people. You showcase other people's ability. You give them a platform to increase their confidence. And that's something you don't find a lot of these days because it's really been an dog eat world. So I love that I don't have any of that in the Clubhouse. I love that, people really do just genuinely want you to succeed at what you want. They're not expecting you to be anything. They're just letting you be you.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. If you come, everybody has a different reason why they join the Painters Clubhouse. It might just be because you like to paint.
Right.
And that it's therapy, or you like it and you want to learn. Or it could be that you want to someday have a business like Tamara's.
Right.
Or, I don't foresee that for me, but mine is I do craft shows. I got a glow forge, and I do craft shows, and I make stuff and take them and sell them, and but it's something. There's no right reason to join the Painters Clubhouse. Join the
Or
Painters
wrong.
Clubhouse for what you want it to be. If you
Right.
just want to learn and get a couple of the templates, that you get every month, and have that. But there's no right or wrong. I mean, you're going to benefit no matter what. It's just
I think
awesome.
Well, I was saying on here the other day, we've got people from everything from like young mothers who are trying to take care of their kids who need something like this to just distract them from motherhood and stress, work, whatever it is. And this is a good way for them to kind of have your crackling.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It's crackling.
Oh, there it's gone.
Testing. I barely hear it, but
Yeah, that's.
Try muting your mic, Kelly, for just a second.
Where's my mic? Wait a minute. There we go.
It's a little speaker. Did it stop?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't hear it anymore. So when you're ready to talk, Kelly, just unmute it, and maybe that will.
Oh, wait, there it's coming back again.
Yeah.
And mine was muted when that came back.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, and then we've got people who are still working and they use this as a stress relief at the end of the day, or people who are retired and want something to do after retirement. So there are so many different reasons you may want to learn to paint, but we would love to welcome you into the clubhouse. So y'all have any final words?
Come join us. Let's have fun. Come on. We have goals. Let's do this.
And y'all, the people that are joining because they did Lola, that wasn't okay. And I've been in for a long, for 3 years now. And I looked at Lola and went, I'm a little intimidated by that. But I did, hold on.
Uh-oh.
I did the little rounds. I did the families.
Oh, how cute.
Well, I haven't finished that one yet, but.
Oh, wow.
But
I'm waiting to do the herd.
What these do is one of the biggest sellers at the craft show is, the welcome signs you put on your front porch. Okay. Well, they're just, what's a good welcome sign if it just has the letters that say welcome? You got to have interchangeable. So that's going to interchange where the O is. And that's, that I have found people that say that's what makes my stuff different is what I learned in the Painters Clubhouse, the way the painting and the details. That's what makes it different than somebody else that just paints the block, so to speak.
That is true. I've looked at, before I really got involved on it, just watching Tamara, I looked at some of the stuff. She's like, oh, we're going to go paint this. And I'm like, really? But one thing she does really well is I don't know if I'm saying this right, but you paint kind of in layers. So, you just do the background, you add, and then when you get to the details and you take a step back and you're like, I did that. I mean, I did that. It's really, it's nice. So, but I mean, that's one thing she's always saying, trust the process. Well, you got to trust the process, but you also have to give yourself grace to go through this because, she's been doing this a while. I've been doing it a little bit. I still, every once in a while, look at like Lola. Lola was intimidating. And I'm like, but that's okay. She's going to tell me. And I'm just like,
process.
Yeah, trust the process.
I didn't do these until that workshop was over with because
I
went back and found the part where the fur was done. And I was like, that's it? That's all you have to do? I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
It looked so much harder than that, didn't it?
It did. So
that's
Painters
the way
Clubhouse is wonderful. Everybody join.
When you see like a whole painting, it's really intimidating because all you see is all the details. You don't see the steps that got to that part. And so I think that's the thing that stops people a lot of times from trying something like this is they're a little intimidated because they're like, there's no way I can do that. But they don't realize when you break it down layer by layer, step by step, it's a lot of simple brush strokes done in steps.
Like Jen said, you have always said, trust the process. And because still, I'll get to something, but I'm good enough now that I'm like, not going to worry about it until it's done. And then if I'm not even going to worry about it, and it always ends up great in the end.
Yes, and all the little tricks. I mean, baby wipes. I haven't had a child and babies for many moons. I now have more diaper wipes in my house than I thought I did when I had them in diapers. They are the magic eraser of painting world.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
It kind of reminds me of when I used to do paint parties in person. I would have people who were the same way, like the first time painters who had never painted with me before were so nervous, so scared to do anything. And they might be sitting beside somebody who had been to 2 or 3 of them, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, got you. You know, she can help you polish it up at the end. It's going to look great." And they knew to trust the process because they've done several parties with me, and it was always nice painting with a group of people who had done it before with me because it just went so much smoother because they weren't as resistant to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's my next step. I want to do paint parties, but
I feel like you told me that 3 years ago, Kelly.
Okay,
that's okay.
I did, and I'm scared.
And
Okay, well, what can...
So it was 2020. It would have been real hard to have an in-person paint
Yes,
party.
that's true.
Now is the time, though. From what I'm hearing from everybody, in-person stuff right now is all the rage. Like, that's what people want because there's like, you know, the last 2 or 3 years, we haven't been in person. So now's the time, Kelly. This is the perfect time. Start do just a couple in the spring and the summer, and by fall, you're gonna be like calling me up, Tamara. Oh my goodness, I can't even keep my hair on straight because I'm doing so many paint parties.
I love it.
And you know what? Reach out to us. I mean, you know, reach out to us.
I was thinking about it today. I said, I get on Painters Clubhouse and get, you know, have the things I'm thinking about, ask those specific questions.
Yeah.
And see, you know.
And you know, there's the paint party boot camp course. It's ancient, like it's really old information, but it's still very relevant.
It's
like
very
relevant.
relevant.
The videos that have a completely different haircut. It's an older video, but all that information is still relevant.
Good.
All right. Well, thank you for coming and chatting with me, ladies. I'm sorry we're having a little bit of audio issues, but I think everybody can still probably hear at least the message we're trying to get across, which is join the Painters Clubhouse. You will not regret it. So thank y'all for joining me today, and I'm going to be live at 7 o'clock tonight. I'll see y'all then.
All right. Bye.